When LeBron left Cleveland for a Heat super team, Cavs fans burned his jersey. When Kevin Durant left OKC for a Warriors super team, he was destroyed on social media. Aside from getting your team buckets, there is little else fans value more than loyalty. And the epitome of a true loyal player? Tim Duncan. He spent all 19 years of his career with the Spurs and is well loved by everyone. Well, nearly everyone. But what many don't know is that Duncan was extremely close to pulling a LeBron or a KD. Duncan was set on leaving the Spurs to create a super team with the Orlando Magic. He would have been joining Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady, two future Hall of Famers in their prime. As of 2020, the Magic still had 0 NBA titles to their name, and this super team ultimately didn't happen. But it wasn't because of Duncan's undying loyalty to San Antonio. Actually, it was because of a seemingly meaningless question by Duncan's wife uttered at a lavish party in Disney World. This is a ClutchPoints original documentary on how the Orlando Magic were insanely close to a super team and an NBA dynasty. And surprisingly, this Duncan-led team isn't the only potential dynasty they missed out on. In the summer of 2000, Orlando was a prime free agent destination. Grant Hill, a budding superstar with the Pistons, was on his way. Hill was at the peak of his powers, and some even touted him as the next MJ. Joining him on the Magic was a young Tracy McGrady, who was looking to get out of Vince Carter's shadow in Toronto. With a couple of big names on the way, the Magic wanted to lure a certain big man from San Antonio to create a super team. A 24-year-old Tim Duncan was already a two-time All-Star with the Spurs and was quickly becoming one of the best big men in the league. So the Magic went all in. As Duncan flew in on a private jet, they had billboards throughout the city with Duncan in a Magic uniform. At a party, they had him meet golf legend Tiger Woods. Duncan and Grant Hill were even given private access to Disney World. The Epcot ball was specially lit with the words, "Grant us Tim." The Spurs were getting nervous. They knew their young big man was likely on his way out. Coach Greg Popovich called this time hell as he waited for his franchise player to make a decision. With Duncan almost locked up by the Magic, T-Mac made some bold predictions. Imagine for a second what the Magic could have done with Hill, McGrady, and Duncan. With the big three of perennial All-Stars and future Hall of Famers, they'd be a lock for at least the Eastern Conference Finals almost every year. But then came the fateful question. The words that cost the Magic a super team would come at a lavish party the team had thrown, where Duncan met Tiger Woods. Duncan's agent had just told the Magic they were winning him over. But then, Duncan's girlfriend and soon-to-be wife asked Coach Doc Rivers a seemingly harmless question. Can she come on the team plane from time to time and travel with the team? Doc told her no. Only players and staff were allowed on the plane. Duncan and his girlfriend were less than thrilled, especially since Spurs coach Greg Popovich did allow family to occasionally travel with the team. Grant Hill recalled the whole mood of the party changed at that moment. Duncan flew back, was met by Spurs legend David Robinson to get in the final word, and the rest is history. Staying in San Antonio, Duncan became a 15-time All-Star, a 5-time champion, and a franchise cornerstone. But to know the Magic were that close to a powerhouse is painful for Orlando fans. What's worse is that this wasn't the first time the Magic blew a potential super team. Back in the early 90s, the Magic had a shot at basketball glory. They had struck gold, winning both the 92 and 93 lotteries. In 92, they drafted Shaquille O'Neal to be the face of the franchise. Shaq dominated down low on his way to earning Rookie of the Year honors and an All-Star berth. In the 93 draft, Shaq knew who he wanted as his sidekick. The big man had met Anthony Penny Hardaway on the movie set of Blue Chips, which they filmed together. They had played some pickup games after filming, and Shaq was so impressed that he wanted Hardaway with him in Orlando. Shaq compared them to a young Magic Johnson-Kareem Abdul-Jabbar combo. Through a draft day trade, the Magic got their man. Together, Shaq and Penny were a dynamic duo. Hardaway brought the electric passing and scoring, and Shaq brought the tenacity and energy. In his second year in the league, Shaq had a game where he racked up 24 points, 28 rebounds, and 15 blocks. 15 blocks! Only once in NBA history has anyone had more blocks in a game. In Shaq's third year, he had already won the scoring title and was the MVP runner-up. This was enough to convince free agents that Orlando could be a hotspot. The team was able to lure Horace Grant away from the Bulls dynasty. That young, exciting Magic team eliminated Jordan's Bulls in '95 on their way to the finals. It was clear they were building something special. But in 1996, Shaq was a free agent for the first time. Staying in Orlando was the obvious choice. The Magic could offer him more money than anyone else. On the court, they would have a promising core with Penny as his long-term sidekick. With that in mind, how the Magic handled the situation was mind-boggling. That summer, Alonzo Mourning, another dominant big man, signed a 7-year, $105 million contract with Miami. But the Magic's initial offer to Shaq was just a 4-year, $54 million deal. Shaq felt lowballed. Adding insult to injury was that the Magic told him they actually wanted to save money. Penny Hardaway was a free agent in a few years, and they wanted to throw the bank at him instead. It was clear Shaq wasn't their priority. The tipping point was a poll that the Orlando Sentinel put out. It asked fans if they thought Shaq was worth $115 million. Of the 5,000 fans who responded, over 90% said no. At the end of the day, players want to feel valued. This poll and the offer sent the opposite message. Sensing opportunity, the Lakers swooped in. They stole Shaq away with a large contract and a chance to play with another rising star. Instead of Shaq and Penny, it was Shaq and Kobe, who became the duo of the decade. In LA, a dynasty was born, as Shaq and Kobe rattled off 3 straight championships. Meanwhile, in Orlando, Penny dealt with a series of injuries that derailed his promising career. In the end, the Magic can look back in regret at how they let 2 super teams slip away. They let Shaq walk in '96, and a petty rule about spouses on the team plane stopped Duncan from coming 4 years later. 2 franchise players, 2 potential dynasties. And as of 2020, the Magic are still stuck at 0, left grasping at a lost hope they can only blame themselves for.